Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ask the Skinny Guy Savior. I'm Vince Delmonte. It's great to be back with you. I'm taking 5 questions off my fan page, and for the next couple of episodes, we're going to be addressing nutrition questions, and we're going to address a lot of questions that have to do with bulking. So, as I mentioned in the last episode, I've organized all these questions into themes. So eventually we're going to be getting into supplements, genetics, training, specific training stuff, catabolism, specific things, the body type, stretching, cardio, fat loss, a lot of great topics on the way. So let's get to the questions here on nutrition and bulking. So the first question here comes from Taylor Bowden. He says, what are your thoughts on cheat meals during bulking phases? First off, I prefer to call them treat meals, not cheat meals, because I earn these. So the first approach that I could suggest to you is to do what I did when I bulked from 214 to 227. So this is when I was working with Coach Ben Pikowski. And what Ben did for me is he designed my meal plan around bulking up to 227. He designed it around my macros, around my caloric needs. But then he allowed me to substitute one of the meals, which would be considered a clean meal, for a freebie meal. Or you could also call it a treat meal of my choice. Anything goes. And that just basically allowed me to stay compliant to the other 5 meals in the day. So that's one approach. You'll gain weight very quickly, and you probably won't gain you'll probably gain a little extra fat as opposed to this next approach you could try. The next approach is to just do 3 cheat meals a week and time them all after your big body part days, immediately after the workout. Again, anything goes. So this question goes to Hex Salgado. He says, hey Vince, what's the best muscle split while bulking when working out 5 or 6 times per week for an intermediate level? By the way, ever since you started with the Q&A videos, I've been watching even more of your videos. Great move. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment. And just to give you a heads up, as I said, we will be heading down to the gym, and I'm going to start answering these questions in the gym setting once my home gym is built. That way we can demonstrate certain things and make it more visual, so you guys can really learn from different sensory modes. So your question's really good. So how should you set up your workout split? So for the majority of people, I find that 4 to 5 days a week is optimal. For beginner intermediate, doing like 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off is really, really good. And the reason for this is because you have to consider different recovery systems in your body. You don't just have your muscles to worry about. You have your metabolic, your central nervous system, you have your hormonal system, your immune system. These systems take longer to recover than your muscles, your metabolic system. So you have to consider that. I wouldn't recommend ever training more than 5 days a week unless it's an intentional overreaching phase, which I do prescribe in some programs. But for most people, 4 or 5 days a week is perfect. On the 5-day split, what you would do is 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, repeat. And I don't know any natural guys who can do more than this and still see gains. So this next question is a bit lengthy, but there's some good things here we could all learn from. So Matthew wants to know, Matthew says, I'm currently going to the gym and dieting, so I'm working out in a caloric deficit and losing weight. I've noticed I'm getting stronger, but that's cool. That's awesome, by the way. But I'm reluctant to increase the weight I'm lifting because I feel like I would be wasting these gains since I'm in a caloric deficit and won't be able to increase my muscle growth in this state. Any truth to this? If you can increase the weights, even if you're in a caloric deficit, continue to do so. Remember, you might have your hormones optimized, and that may be helping you get stronger. It's not just a caloric thing. You guys, you can't simplify this down to something so basic. So there's other things going on in your body. One thing I would recommend to you is to focus on work density. If your goal is to maximize fat loss, then what I would do is I would take your current workout and just start dropping the rest periods in small increments. So if you're doing 4 sets of 10 with 100 pounds on 60 seconds rest, do 4 sets of 10 with 100 pounds but with 45 seconds rest. This means you did more work in less time. You've increased your density. These kind of progressions within your workouts are going to help you get to your goal much faster. Okay, I'm going to keep going with Matthew here. Start the clock again for me because there's a few more questions from Matthew here. He says, Or should I just increase the weight? My primary goal is weight loss, but I plan on putting the muscle on after this phase, which is why I'm unsure if I should bother increasing weight since I've been told I won't build muscle anyways in a deficit. Basically, it's like I'm trying to save my gains for when I'm eating the right diet to put on muscle. Okay, so I know what you're saying, but the thing is that your muscles can grow in a caloric deficit. If there's sufficient time under tension, if there's sufficient load, and if your hormones are optimized, you can grow in a caloric deficit. It's not very common. It happens to very few people, but physiologically, it's not impossible. There's more to building muscle than just hormones. I mean, if you look at guys who take steroids, they're in a caloric deficit, but they're building muscle because their hormones are optimized. They're super physiological levels. So I know you're not doing that, but there are a lot of things we can do naturally still to get those benefits. So, yeah, I mean, the bottom line, if you want to maintain all your muscularity in a cutting phase, you need to train hard. The volume needs to be there. The loads need to be there. And a slight caloric deficit needs to be there. And you'll maximize your muscularity and you'll look amazing. All right, Matthew? Okay, so this next question goes to Richard Bristol. He wants to know, hey Vince, I was just wondering if drinking any soft drinks or any sugary drinks will affect your muscle building. If so, why? All right, so first off, muscle building is the least of your concerns. I'm telling you, man, stop drinking these sugary drinks, these sodas specifically. They're horrible for you. If you're a parent watching this, I also encourage you to just get rid of this stuff. I mean, honestly, you're killing your kid. If you're drinking this stuff on a regular basis, it may not affect you today or tomorrow, but compounded over the years, these sugary drinks are linked to creating an acidic environment in your body. And scientists and doctors have found that over 150 different degenerative diseases are linked to acidity in your body. So everything from cancer, diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, gall and kidney stones, osteoporosis, hypertension, memory loss, and a ton of other things are all linked to acidity. And this is one of the things that happens when you drink a lot of these sugary soda drinks. So I know when I have kids, I am not going to allow them to have this stuff. It is absolutely devastating to your long-term health. Muscle building is the least of your concerns. Okay, so the next question goes to Dane. Dane wants to know, Vince, do you use the meat and nuts breakfast during a bulk? If so, wouldn't the glycogen replenishment in the morning be more efficient? So Dane, when you're thinking about when should I eat my carbohydrates, the most important thing to ask yourself is this: what time do I work out? Your carbs need to revolve around the time of the day that you work out and nothing else, okay? So if I'm working out in the afternoon, I'm going to time my carbohydrates 2 to 4 hours before, and this is considered the energy phase. This is the phase of the day I need to provide my body energy to perform the workout. After the workout, we go through what I call the anabolic phase. This is the phase where your body is most receptive to nutrients. And this is where we want to time the bulk of our carbohydrates, everything from 45 minutes after the workout up to 3 to 4 hours after the workout. And then finally, the time between that and your next energy phase is the recovery phase. And that's where I time more proteins and fats. But that's when you should put your carbs in. If you're working out in the morning time, the answer would be yes. You would have carbs with the meat and nuts breakfast. All right, so there you have another 5 questions. I look forward to doing one of yours in the near future. If I haven't answered it yet, go to my fan page, vincedelmontefanpage.com. Click the like button. You'll get an opportunity to post it in the near future, and I would love to give you a response as well. In the meantime, if you need help with anything else, make sure you visit my blog, vincedelmontefitness.com. That's where you'll find all my step-by-step organized programs that solve specific problems and takes all the thought out for you. And until next time, we'll see you soon.